more progress on the tank seat shell cover. Haven't radiused the sharp edges yet. They will be pretty close to once the final shape is done. This is all good. I still have to do some work up around the top here, so I'm going to have to take it off the bike and get in and tidy that up, and then also around the tank opening, so I'll tidy that up, and another coat of primer, and I think we're probably going to be close to starting to go down to the finer finishing. So having a play with some cut lines, the mould's going to be full size, so the option will be to do a slimline cover, which is the red line, or a full cover, which is the blue line, or a combo, which is the black line. So this point here is exposing half of the frame rail at that point, which looks quite cool. This dot is where the fastener will go through to the original position, as I use on just the seat cover version. It's the best way of fastening the whole thing, keeping it nice and tight up against the frame. As you can see, also the smooth edges around the shock mount, so that you don't catch your thighs on the way through. So that's all part of this. So that's that fastener there. You can cut it in a bit close, and you can cut it in, closer at the back, but I've found that the longer it is up the back, the more comfortable, especially when you sort of move back for some traction. It sort of gives your the backs of your legs a little bit of a indication where the bike is. So plenty of options around the front. This shape is dictated by the shape of the tank. That's as close as we can get, and also once the 6-degree change in the steering angle, then it will be will give you a little more clearance there, and you can actually turn tighter. The bottom of the tank's going to peek through. There is the tap, so there's plenty of room under there. Front fastening will be most likely a O-ring, figure of 8 O-ring with a couple of fastening points here, so around figure of 8 around there and there. Holds the front down. The removal will be these two fasteners. I'll move on out. These two fasteners, the front O-ring, and then the reason I've designed it so that it is a lift off. So literally put it over the rear shocks, and it will fall on. Makes it a lot quicker for access. You don't have to remove the tank. You don't have to take the cap off, so there's no spillage. So all of those advantages with minimizing the effort required. These could be a push pin with the rubber grommets on the other side. We could make up a plastic push pin that just basically pushed in, a bit like your door card clips or something like that. That would work, and then it would just be a case of a little bit of a pull, and then pull the pin out. I quite like the cap screws and countersunk cap screw. Seems to keep it nice and tidy, and also keeps the seat quite firm. I painted the plug in a 2K red. I didn't film that. I did it quite late at night, and then went through and did a test fit on a standard frame. You can see here. So here we are, gel coating the plug so that I can lay up the fiberglass, making the mold. So this is polished and painted plug for the cover, and then gel coat, and then probably 5 layers of fiberglass. So here we go, all fiberglassed up, 4 or 5 layers on top of the mold, with a flange all the way around. So that's let that cure overnight and then pop it out of the mold, and we'll see what we've got. Oh, here's something else quite interesting. The little button batteries that run the scales. I mix all my resin with scales. The button batteries don't last long, and then I decided, well, 18650, soldered some terminals onto where the battery goes, and now I've got probably a year's worth of scales. Awesome. So the mold has cured overnight, and here we go. Clean up the edges, and then I'll pop the plug out. I need to run a sander just along those edges there, take out some of the wax, and then I can pop it out, tidy it up, and see what we've got. There it is, out of the mold. You can see the PVA mold release stuck on the plug, and also in the mold. I'll need to do some tidying up on the edges, as you do. Nice radius on that. I 3D printed a, where are we? Come here. I 3D printed a insert to go in the filler neck with a dimple. So there's going to be a dimple drill hole, so makes the hole saw line up. So that all works. And I'll have to tidy it all up. So you can also see, if you look closely, there are some little pinhole nipples showing through, and they're really easy to sand off on the gel coat to smooth up, so that saves having to spend a heap of time working on the actual plug. You can sand and polish the mold. So I'll get onto that, and then we'll pop out the first unit. This is a bit of a disaster. The red gel coat dye just didn't turn the gel coat red. It's a maximum of 5%, and at 5% I got pink. So as opposed to wasting the gel coat, I'll just follow through, and then we'll paint it red in the end. So here we have the first cover popped out of the mold. The pink is a little bit of a disaster. I'll insert some photos in now, but we used a red pigment for the gel coat, and I put the maximum 5%, and this is as red as it gets. So it's going to be painted, but yeah, so that's a little bit of a little bit interesting. So I'll go and trim it up and see how it fits. The mold has survived well. So these chips were there originally. I just fill them with wax. I might eventually put some gel coat in them, but no, it's popped out. It's well away from the actual usable edge. But no, that's come out really well. And what have we got? there we go, the dimple in the filler. So I'll run a hole saw through there and get the initial fuel cap hole, and then that will be it. Oh, there's a little ding there. I might have to sand the mold or shave the mold. Cool. Okay, so hole saw. This is as close as I can get. Okie dokie. Now we have to establish what line to use for the shape. I know I've done the 3 different options, but this one's going to take the slimmest one. So I'm undecided about the front. That's where the shocks come to. So there's tough decision. I do like that the engine is exposed. As you can see with the old tank, that's pressure washing. That's as far as it gets in. So that's quite a bit. It should actually help it breathe, keep it a bit cooler. I think I'll start on that line. In fact, I think I'll cut the straight line first and see where we're at. Well, I need to put the video out, so this is as far as I've got. This is the plug that's been cut down. I'm using it as a test to try and see what shapes I can achieve. There's the clearance, hard to see. So it's on top. So this one I've cut the waist, so it's just at the height of that frame. I think you could probably go higher and just take half of, expose half of the frame. You could take more off back here and more off back here. That definitely needs to go off. That's still just rough, but I'll cut that back about 10 mil. A few other options at the front. This could be cut up around there because the tank has a sort of like a venting area in the middle. It could also go further up and under here, so it'll be interesting. I might just do a really thin layup one day out of the mold and just see how much you can actually cut away and still have it as an effective cover. The other side is uncut, so it comes down to the tank. Bear in mind this is the plug, so it's got all sorts of extra bog and bits and pieces in it, so it's not really suitable for a cover, because it's probably quite a bit heavier. It's got a few extra layers of glass as well, so that it was rigid for moulding. The pink is there. And I'll paint that. I'll cut it and paint it and put it on one of the bikes as a prototype, but I'll just use this one to start cutting the shapes first. So that's it. Next you'll probably see it on a bike running.
Please add your thoughts and comments, like and subscribe. Let's grow this channel.